Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Pollock. I am an attorney who helps other attorneys engage the audiences that are vital to their firm's success, including their clients, their referral sources, their employees, and the media. In this video, how attorneys can use email drip campaigns to solidify themselves as thought leaders in their practice areas. You are likely familiar with an email drip campaign, even if you didn't know that's what it's called. If you've ever gone onto an online shopping site and left something in your cart and gotten an email soon after about you having left that thing in your cart, that's a drip campaign. If you've ever signed up for a gym or some other kind of membership organization and gotten a series of emails soon after you joined that explained to you more about the organization and welcomed you to the party, that is an example of an email drip campaign. Loosely defined, an email drip campaign is a series of emails that go out every so often at a set interval and that were triggered by some action that a user, the recipient of those emails, took initially. Some law firms are using drip email campaigns, especially plaintiffs' firms. They will use them when a would-be client downloads an ebook, signs up for a webinar, or downloads an infographic or similar lead magnet. They will then send that person a series of emails introducing their firm to that person and hopefully familiarizing that person with the firm and getting them to build a relationship that hopefully leads to engagement. Lawyers of any type can put an email drip campaign into place to help them build their thought leadership street cred and to develop a perception that they are thought leaders in their legal practice areas. What you can do as a lawyer is to first off, capture someone's email address. So use a white paper, an ebook, an infographic, a checklist, create some kind of lead generation magnet that requires someone to have to give you their details, their email address at least, in order to obtain that item. You could even do this with webinars. Once you have that item that you and your firm identified as perhaps attractive to an audience that you want to develop in terms of prospective clients, you have to figure out how to create an email sequence that builds your credibility, that shows you to be a thought leader, and eventually get someone to know you, like you, and trust you enough to perhaps retain you or your firm. My advice would be to look at previous blog posts, look at testimonials, look at case studies, even perhaps look at awards you've won, and figure out how to put that piece together. So over the course of a week or two or three, every so often, maybe every 2-3 days, the person who signed up for that checklist or email or ebook will then get a series of emails that are relating to the subject area of that ebook, checklist, etc. Because after all, the reason why they downloaded that item in the first place is because they had an interest or a need for that particular practice of law, or that area of practice, So what we can do is we can build this kind of sequence where we have a mix of repurposed blog posts. We have maybe a couple case studies weaved in where we show how we helped clients who had those similar legal issues to what's covered in that lead magnets. And we can even have testimonials where the clients who had that kind of service were thankful, and again, the awards where you show that for that kind of area of law, you were recognized within your industry and within your peer group. Now, the one caveat though is that when you're designing an email drip campaign, especially as a thought leadership device, you don't want to come across as too salesy or make it feel like it's just a series of solicitations. So you need to be liberal with your use of educational materials, your blog posts, links to videos, links to webinars, and only put in a little bit of the testimonial or case study, or else the person might unsubscribe thinking that this is just too salesy for me. Now, another consideration for these kinds of drip campaigns is you have to have the content to begin with. If you only have one blog post on a particular area of law that's related to the ebook or the webinar that someone signed up for to begin with, that's going to be a problem because you don't have enough content. So you have to have this mix of content. You need to figure out the right interval. I would think every 3 to 4 days, so you're not bombarding someone, but you are not also letting 2-3 weeks go by where they forget why they know your name and how you are connected to them. But with a little bit of thought and a little bit of creativity, any lawyer who wants to be viewed as a thought leader in their practice area can piece together a sizable email drip campaign. Again, you want to try and have it go for a couple weeks, every couple days, with emails being sent out. That will develop, hopefully, in the mind of the recipient of those emails, that attorney is a thought leader in their space. Of course, at the end of the campaign, you could make a note or ask for a consultation, or at least suggest that a conversation could be worthwhile if the recipient is interested in learning more about your firm's practice in that particular area of the law. But that's not necessary. Again, thought leadership, we're trying not to be too salesy. We just want to position ourselves as thought leaders. So take a cue from the Amazons of the world, from the Netflixes of the world, and from the gyms of the world. Use an email drip campaign within your law firm to help build your or your colleagues' thought leadership credentials. You might be surprised just how effective it can be when you provide educational material after educational material for a period of time that hopefully gets the recipients to understand just how knowledgeable you are, or your colleagues are, regarding that area of law, and how you and your colleagues can help that would-be client with their legal issue.